Hello and welcome to IASLE podcast.
We will open the floor for questions, and I see Miss Rob already typed one of the questions. Professor, could you see the question in the chat box?
Yeah, I see it.
All right.
Yes,
so
I see.
I'll not repeat that.
Just so I understand, your study is primarily focused on the free versions of ChatGPT, like version 3.5 and not on version 4.0. As such, price was not a relevant factor for the participants. Exactly. The time I decided to collect data from students was the time that the paid, that time named ChatGPT Plus, was not introduced yet. It was introduced during the data collection time. But to be honest, students are the people that they are not willing to pay if they don't need to pay. So yes, usually they were using the free version. However, to be honest, I didn't ask them in the measurement tool which version they are using, because I assumed that they are using the free one. Although from the conversations with them, I know that some of them now are using the paid version, or they are paying for like group access. They paying for one account and they share the credentials for this account in the group. But yes, mainly it is in this instrument. It was the ChatGPT, the free version, the basic one.
Thank you very much.
So I have a question. So basically, when we consider to use ChatGPT, some people they have concern about students they misuse ChatGPT, especially they are coming from high school or university students or even graduate students. They may consider to they may get a higher grade or higher marks if they use ChatGPT, or they don't need to do anything. So they can just ask ChatGPT to help them to submit their assignments or answer the question and so on. So the scale has performance expectancy. So the performance, I don't know. Do we know if the expectation actually is a negative one, which means they say, okay, yes, I think ChatGPT can give me a higher grade, higher marks, but it is not helping me to understand the concept better and submit an assignment better, but help me to submit the assignment easier and I can get the higher marks. So although that is also performance expectation, but that is from the other side. So can the scale let us know these kind of things?
To be honest, I think that this scale is not able to distinguish these two behaviors, because I clearly understand, and I was observing this, that students were using this tool to prepare something better than usual, to deliver the work in an outstanding way, because the tool, like a year ago, to write something, to analyze data, even the teachers did not recognize anything, because the year ago they were not aware of the tool capabilities. Now there is an ongoing discussion on a governmental level, educational level. I believe your institution already had like webinars, policy upgrades, what you can do with this tool. But a year ago, it was the hype. Okay, I can do everything. And the critical thinking process for the students was decreasing or even switching off, because sometimes they even did not read what the tool was writing. And when the tool was writing as of my last knowledge update in September 2021, I was aware that they did not read this, what the tool prepared. So, but it was a year ago. Now, I think the awareness is much better. And they know that they cannot take what the tool produce and say, okay, it's mine. Because for me, example, I would know immediately that this text is generated, because it's sometimes it's very obvious, unless it's only the simple language correction. But you have to be careful here as well, because sometimes it adds from own will sentences that they were not provided, not delivered, not asked for, generates like summaries, but not asked to generate summary. But now I believe the scale to measure the performance at expectancy should be different, and we should go more into like scales measuring critical thinking process.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for those great questions. We have time for a few more.
If there is no question, I would like to take this opportunity once again, because I have many questions. You don't have this chance to talk to Asper like in this way. So if others they don't ask question, then I would like to ask another question, which is about the scale, because the scale technology acceptance is really good. But I want to know that. Whether or not this scale can provide us a kind of quantitative measure, so we can say that people they have high acceptance on ChatGPT, or they have median acceptance or low acceptance. So if this scale can provide that, that will be nice. If it cannot provide that kind of a measure, do you consider any way to invent something which we can use as researchers? We can use that scale, and then we can get people's kind of like 80 or 75 or something like that.
Okay, so I used the well-established theory. Actually, I add one variable, so the scale was adapted by me, and the questions were adapted to the tool and the study process. Now I observe in the papers that are published, or in the papers I receive for review, that there are different scales now, different theories employed to measure, like the anthropomorphic theory or different others. And what I notice, only sometimes, not every study, has like the sorting question in the beginning. Are you using some kind of AI tool? And then like half of the respondents is saying yes, and the other half no. I encountered several studies, but later all of them suddenly are experts how the ChatGPT works and how easy it is to solve different things. But the first sorting question for me was the most important. If I use it, then I use it. If not, then don't. So we can ask in my scale, maybe it wasn't shown here very clearly. I had a question asking how often do you use it? And one of the options were never. So I had like few percentage was I never use this tool. And there was the frequency way to express the usage, like 1 minute. Sometimes just a few times a week, because there is no time to do this. And asking the acceptance, yes, the 50 or 75, I think we should be able to evaluate the quality of the answer, because sometimes I'm very happy with the answer, so I would say 100% sure, 100% satisfied, and sometimes it's not on the topic, like the tool is not doing what I am asking for. And I'm saying, okay, it's a waste of time. I need to approach this thing in other way. So even our experience can change, and also the tool is changing by the creators, by the authors. Recently, there is a 4.0 model with updated database, with updated reasoning. You can talk to the tool with the use of the app. So during the time, it's not always the same engine inside you are working with. So it's not easy answer yes or no, or the 50 or 75 degree level, because we need to take into account whether we are satisfied with the answer or with the result, and which version of the tool, because I'm saying tool like except the ChatGPT is Gemini, there is a Claude, there is Mistral, there is Llama, there are other similar tools with similar capabilities.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I have a question. I want to ask, if I want to conduct research, then how can I use the AI in the assessment? I want to know that.
Okay, I read the question, and I also heard the question. But the assessment of the work provided by the students, or what would you like to assess? Because you can always ask the tool.
Sir, if I give a instruction and then I want to assess the students, then how can I use the AI tools or AI for the assessment of particular grades?
Actually, I think for now it's not a good way to leave the assessment parts to the tool of the students' work. You can there are some studies I was reading last year, how humans were assessing the outcomes of the students' work, and how the tool was assessing the outcome. And there are some false positives and false negatives, because sometimes the tool will say the outcome will be with exact finding, like weak spots in the assignment or other things. But sometimes the comments or the output provided by the tool is not right, and you as an expert, you should be aware that sometimes the tool might show you not the right direction or not the right answer. Because I know I'm writing right now an academic book for one subject, and I am asking my students to evaluate it. So I'm giving them the chapter, and I'm asking just evaluate it, point the errors, see what I can improve. And most of them is doing this by them, and some of them just placing my chapter into ChatGPT and saying, find the flaws and make a list what can be improved. And then they send me the list of improvements, and I see that the list is from the tool, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. So it's not easy to leave the job to the tool. We should be aware what it can do, sometimes to analyze the text, make a summary, inform you, but with the evaluation, I would be very, very careful here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.